Israel for the brothers. Yahweh Shalom. Yahweh Shem Thumb for the brothers. Yahweh Shemana Thaba Shem Shah for the sisters. This is the High Desert Scripture Breakdown class. I'm Police Officer Shadow Rock. And tonight we're going to go into who are blacks and Hispanics in the Bible. Who are blacks and Hispanics in the Bible? Okay. So my first precept is going to be I'm going to go to Jeremiah 14 and verse 2. Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 2. So let's see who blacks and Hispanics are in the Bible. You know, when you go to the Christian church, they're going to tell you that you are Ham. They're going to tell you that you are the son of Ham. You know, Ham in the Hebrew. They're going to tell you that you Ham's son. But see, the thing is, you're not Ham's son. We don't descend from Ham as being so-called African Americans and so-called Hispanic people. We don't descend from Ham. We descend directly from Shem, because Noah had 3 sons. You know, his son was Japheth, his son was Shem, and his son was Ham. So that's the difference. You know, that's part of the difference, the beginning of it. But I'm gonna go to Jeremiah 14 and 2 right now. So let's see what it says there. Yeah. All right. Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth. Judah mourneth. That means Judah is in mourning. See, this is the tribe of Judah. This is the tribe so-called Negroes from the transatlantic slave trade descend from. Yahwadah in the Hebrew. It's called Yahwadah in Hebrew. Okay, so it says right here, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. The gates are ours. Right now, I mean, we had a whole bunch of leaders. We got Jesse Jackson. We got Martin Luther King. We got, these different leaders. But these leaders are nothing. We had even that Reverend Al Sharpton. Okay. These are not black leaders. These are dumb dogs. They have not done anything for our situation. We still live in the ghettos. We still are the highest in diabetes and heart disease, and in the prison system, and in the barrios, and on the reservations. We are those people that are still afflicted in this place called America. You understand? We're still the people that don't have the kind of money that we need in order to live comfortably in this land. We are still those people that are on the bottom of society. You understand? We're on the bottom of society. We're not on the top of society. And how can you tell? Because the black man get disrespected everywhere he goes. Women clutching their purses, thinking we're going to snatch their purse. Well, we're just trying to get to the store. You understand? Or we're just trying to get to our destination. We're not worried about all of that. We're getting demonized in the media. They calling us pimps. They calling us drug dealers, gangsters, and men that basically their wives down. What they call them? Women abuse, womenizers, and all of that. We're not being looked up as upstanding citizens, men that go to work, men that take care of their families, men that are in college, men that go to work, have their jobs, and every day hit and put an honest effort at being a righteous person. We're demonized in the media as well. Every time you're looking on these shows, you're looking at a black man abusing another black woman, just like the movie Color Purple. You're looking at a black man being a drug dealer. You look at New Jack City. You can look at Juice. He's a murderer. He's doing ill. Everything behind him is when you see and look and hear about so-called Negroes and black people. But that's a goddamn lie. That's a lie. But they portrayed that on and on, or a pimp, over and over and over again. Even our women are looked at as whores. And now they dress the part now, and they act the part now, out there twerking and doing what the hell they want to do, losing their goddamn mind too. You know what I'm saying? We all are not like that. You know, in the 70s, you had righteous women. You had women that wore dresses. You had women that wore, the whole outfit and covered themselves and was shamefaced it, man. And shamefaced it is the way it should be. You understand? According to the scriptures. All right. Not saying she being in shame. It's just that she knows that she should cover herself. She shouldn't have her butt cheeks all out and her cleavage always down. And every time you turn around, that's all you see and look at is her cleavage and her butt cheeks. And all you see when you look at a black man is somebody that want to come up and get money and then damn everybody else and tear everybody else up. Let's see who black is in the Bible, man. So Judah mourneth, the gates thereof languish. The gates means our leaders, because the gates is meant to protect, to keep things inside the property so that no outer interference comes in there. Where was Al Sharpton when George Floyd got killed? Where was Al Sharpton when Breonna Taylor got killed? Where was Al Sharpton in all of these new incidents coming up where the police are brutalizing our people? Where's Jesse Jackson? And I'm not even going to go into Martin Luther King yet. Understand? But those are our gates. Those are our so-called black leaders who led us astray. Only thing they worrying about is themselves. That's all they worry about. They're not out there on the grind like ISUPK is. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under the commanding Johanna. We're out there. We beat the pavement. We get out there in the street. We worry about them families. We help them families. We let it be known that this was an injustice to our people, man. And we ain't pulling back and holding no punches. Understand? We're out there. The Bible said this: Christ went out into the highways and byways. He didn't stay up in the synagogues. He didn't stay up in them places, man. He went to the highways and byways. Even Nehemiah was on the street and opened up the book of the law. All right. Now, let me go to Nehemiah. Let's see what Nehemiah did real quick. And I'll get to Christ with the highways and byways. Let's see what in the book of Nehemiah. What did Nehemiah, who was a prophet of the Lord, what did he do? Did he stay up in the church, saying all this, looking good, being safe inside a damn church? Did he really? You understand? Let me get it right here real quick. In the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8, and let's go to verse 13. Anyway, Salaki, let's go. Let's look at this. Nehemiah chapter 8 and verse 1. And all the people gathered themselves together as one man into the street that was before the water gate. And they spake unto Ezra, the scribe, to bring the book of the law of Moses, which the Lord commanded. Now, they told Ezra to do this. Ezra was also a prophet as well. All right. And this was there in the street. Okay. Let's go to verse 3. And he read therein before the street that was before the water gate from the morning until midday, before the men and the women and those who could understand. And the ears of all the people were attentive unto the book of the law. The book of the law is the Bible. They didn't stay up in no church, man. They wasn't sitting up in no $1 million church talking about how good God is, how great Christ was, and all this, that, and the other. They hit the highways and byways. They hit the streets like Christ did. You understand? That's the way you're supposed to prophesy. That's the way you're supposed to give and teach the people the book of the law. The book of the law is the Bible. Them the first 5 books, the Torah. In other words, the teaching. The teaching. They ain't stay up in no damn synagogue. They hit the people because the people, they knew the people were in the street. And if you know anything about the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we hit the streets in every state across this country and outside this country too. We hit the UK as well. We hit Trinidad and Tobago as well, Puerto Rico. Understand? We hit them streets, man. And we find our people and we teach our people you're not supposed to eat shrimp, crab, and lobster. You're supposed to keep the Sabbath day. You're supposed to keep God's day according to the Bible. We teach our people that, man. So don't sit around and talk about the law is done away with, because it's not. All right. So I'm gonna get back to it. I'm gonna get right back to it. Let's get back to Jeremiah 14 and verse 2, because it's important that you know that this is a black book, man. And when I say black, I mean Hispanic and Native Indians as well. It's our book and no one else's book. We're the true Israelites, understand, that the Bible speaks of. We're the true Israelites, understand. They took our identity and stole it and took it for themselves. That's why right now they were fighting the Israelis was fighting the Hamas. That's why they were fighting each other. They're fighting over our land. Remember, they took the black man out of his land and bring him to America and stole his language, his identity, his customs, his culture. They stole it and never gave it back to us. Understand? Never gave it back to us. So Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. That means the gates are disappearing, man, because we don't have no protection against these evil heathens out here that's trying to take our money, that has taken and stolen our money, taken and stolen our culture. Even now, you got all of a sudden Korea and China is trying to cling to us because of hip hop. And not just because of hip hop, but because all of a sudden you got these Asian crimes and all this stuff. Man, we had these crimes for us. What happened to us for 400 goddamn years? All of a sudden they giving them recognition, and look how far they gonna go with it. You understand? They didn't go far with us. We didn't even get 40 acres in a goddamn. We didn't even get 40 acres in a mule. Still getting shot down in the street. That's why Colin Kaepernick took a knee, because he didn't like what this country is doing to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. My brother took to his knee, lost his job. He need to put on all in here with us and really learn how to be a priest and really learn how to build and rise and build his nation back up. Because that's what we're in the business of doing here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We're here to bring our nation back up. That's why I'm going to show you who is black in the Bible. It says Judah. Let's go back to 14 and 2. It says, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground. Yes, that's in scripture. They are black unto the ground. They're not olive colored. They're not white. They're black unto the goddamn ground. All right. And the cry of Jerusalem has gone up, is gone up. You understand? This is black in the Bible. Let's go to Job 30:30. Let's go to Job chapter 30 and verse 30. Let's see what it says. All right. This is Job saying this. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat. Why would he say that? Because when you go to Israel, you'll see the land out there is full of the sun. The sun beams down on Israel all the time. It's hot. You have to be melanated to live there. You understand? Because you're going to be, because the sun is beating down on you 24/7. Let's go to the Song of Solomon. Let's see. Let's go to the Song of Solomon, 1 and verse 5 should be. Right. This is the Song of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 5. I am black, but comely. This is Solomon speaking. I am black, but comely. You know what the word comely means? The word comely means beautiful. We even had it back in the 70s. They always said black is beautiful. Well, you damn right it is, because black don't crack, baby. You understand? I am black, but comely. O ye daughters of Jerusalem, our sisters, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. You understand? He was a black man. That's right. The real Jews are black people, man. That's why we didn't get our culture back. We didn't get our culture back because God chose us. You understand? He chose the Israelites, and the Israelites are black people. You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, it's time for y'all to wake up and realize that we are one nation. We're not scattered. We are different tribes, but we're one nation. We came from the same father. Our father's name was Jacob, and later on his name was changed to Israel. We're Israelites. You understand? Sons of Jacob. I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 7 and 6, and this is what the Lord even says about us. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. We chose to be special to the Most High God. No other people. All right? Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. All right? We're chosen above all people upon the face of the earth, man. You understand? It's not about us taking the rear seat, the back seat, and us listening to this society, because America is going to teach you wrong. Because the first thing America is going to do is make sure you eat that Baconator sandwich that you see on them commercials, and make sure you eat all the little pieces Caesars and the little Caesars pizzas with the pepperoni on it, and all the Papa John pizzas with the pepperoni on it. They're going to show you pepperoni all day long, and that's pork, man. That's pork. The Bible says an Israelite is not this forbidden to eat pork. Forbidden to eat unclean food. We have dietary laws in here in the book of Leviticus because Israelites have to live these laws in order for us to get close to the Most High God. But we've chosen the other route. We went away from all that. We think we know something. We forgot the laws that our forefathers gave us. Our forefathers forgot the laws of damn self. That's why we went into bondage from Egypt to Assyria to Babylon to Greece to Rome, and now to America. We were slaves all the way up into this because we stopped listening to the laws. We stopped fearing God. We stopped following these laws. We do what America tells you. Well, did you go to Easter? What did you do for Easter? What did you do for Christmas? What did you do for Mother's Day? What did you do for Father's Day? What did you do for your birthday? What did you do for Thanksgiving? What did you do for Valentine's Day? All holidays are not our days, man. And if you listen to any of our schools, you'll understand that we teach you the history of those holidays. And those holidays come from our oppressors, the ones that put us in chains and bring us here to America. The ones that's in charge of all these major corporations with all them stocks and bonds and securities and land that they own. And companies and businesses and private jets and great cars and all these things, vacation houses that we don't have, that we never really even experienced, most of us. Our oppressor wants to make sure that we break all the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. Because he don't tell you that the Bible is a black book. This book is a black book. You understand? Let's go to Daniel chapter 7 and verse 25. Daniel 7 and 25. Salaki. Let me get my bearing for a minute. Let me get my bearing. Might be 5, verse 5. No. Right. Salaki. I'm at verse 9. Okay. Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. I beheld, this is Daniel. Daniel was a prophet that had certain characteristics. All the prophets had different abilities and characteristics. Well, Daniel was the one that was able to interpret dreams. And this was when we were in slavery in Babylon. Remember, I said we were in slavery from Egypt to Assyria, to Babylon, to Greece, to Rome, and then to America. You understand? Make no mistake, man, you're fooling yourself if you think you're free. You're fooling yourself. Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. Now, Daniel's interpreting this dream. He's saying, I beheld, looks, I looked, till the thrones were cast down. The thrones of the earth were cast down. The thrones where the kings stand on were thrown down. And the Ancient of Days. Who is the Ancient of Days? Who is the Ancient? Ancient means old. Ancient means you're not new. You ain't no new jack. Ancient means you're old, man. The Ancient of Days did sit. This is the Most High God he's talking about. That's the Ancient of Days. That's who the Ancient of this. All right, because the Lord said, I'm the Alpha and the Omega. All right. Whose garment was white as snow. So he had a garment on that's white as snow. So what do you see when you look at us in the ISUPK? We wear garments. We wore them this past Passover. All of us had garments on. We wear our priestly garments for the highest holy day in the Bible, and that's the Passover, man. We wear our garments for all the holy days, for that matter. But this is the Most High God who had a garment on which was white as snow. And the hair on his head was like the pure wool. The hair on his head was like pure wool. Well, it begs the question, who on the earth got woolly hair? I wonder. Who got woolly hair? Whose hair is like wool on the earth? It damn sure ain't our oppressor. It's you, black man. You understand? And some of you Hispanics too have woolly hair, just like the Most High God, Yahweh in the Hebrew. This is Daniel in a vision talking about the Most High God. He got woolly hair. He had a woolly afro. You understand? That's an afro. Afros are woolly. You know what I mean? All right. And the hair of his head like pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and the wheels as burning fire. He sat on a throne. His throne got wheels on it, Jack. And they like flames of fire. Understand? And you know what? If you think that you're not one of the sons of God, what do brothers put on their cars? They put rims on them, don't they? Shiny rims, don't they? Damn near if they could put fire on them, they would have fiery rims too. We them people, man. We them people this Bible talks about. You understand? We got the woolly hair on the planet. Our oppressors don't, and no one else does, except us. I used to have a damn afro myself till I went bald. Don't laugh. All right. Now, let's go. This is the Most High God, right? Well, let's go to Revelation. Revelation is a revealing. Is the reveal. It means to reveal. Revelation means to uncover, to reveal. John wrote Revelation. The prophet John wrote Revelation. Okay. Now, we're going to go to Revelation 1. And I'm not going to go to verse 12. I'm going to go to verse 12, not 13. And I turned to see the voice that spake with me. And being turned, I saw seven golden candlesticks. And in the midst, the seven golden candlesticks is right here. This is the menorah. This represents the seven churches. That's what John was speaking of when he got this revelation. The seven candlesticks stand for the churches like Thyatira, Philadelphia, Smyrna, those different churches as it speaks of. You can read that further when you want to, look in here. And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man. Who's the Son of Man? One like unto the Son of Man. Who's the Son of Man? Well, the Son of Man is Christ, Yahushua in the Hebrew. He's speaking of Christ in the middle of seven churches. Christ was in the midst of seven candlesticks. All right. One like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment. He got a garment on too. Understand? And they laughing at what we do, talk about we look like Power Rangers. Well, I tell you what, the Power Rangers never lost a fight. And we ain't never lost a fight here in ISUPK. Don't believe me? Look at Cross the Line Radio and look at all of our videos. We go against the best of them, the pastors, the Kemet. We go against the Islam, and I'm gonna read some stuff about Islam in a minute too. And we go up against all of them and show them that they're lies and show them that we're not them people, man, that they think we are. Understand? Clothed with a garment down to the foot, same way we dress, and girt about the paps. The paps is your waist, if those of y'all don't know. Girt about the paps in the Bible. Paps means your waist. He had a girdle around his waist. So he had a garment on with a war belt, in other words. That's a war belt. It's not like a woman's girdle. It's a war belt meant to dispel knives. When you're in battle, when you try to stab someone, most warriors in ancient times wore war belts. When I was in the Marine Corps, we had a war belt. And we used to put our canteens, our moonbeams, our ammo pouches, and all the things that we wore and our ponchos on that war belt. Understand? Warriors wear war belts. Christ was a warrior. Christ was a revolutionary man. Christ was an austere man, a disciplined man, and he didn't take crap from nobody. You know what I mean? And that's how Judah is anyway. That's why we got this lion to symbolize our tribe. We don't take crap from nobody, and y'all know we don't. All right? The Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. He had a golden war belt on, understand? Our king, who is coming back to return to this earth with his mighty sword of war, is going to come back here with a golden girdle. His vesture going to be dipped in blood. You understand? And he's going to be very angry for you not following the laws of God. If you're not following them, I'm just saying. And most of us in our nation is not following God. We want to eat all the pork chops we can eat. We want to eat all the bacon that we can eat. We want to eat all the pepperoni that we can eat. We want to eat all the shrimp, crab, and lobster that we can eat to fill ourselves with that nasty, disgusting meat. Well, if you don't get wised up and get in these classes, start learning what the Bible is and what you should be doing in your life, you're going to get slain by the sword. The same way that Christ is going to come back and slay our enemies, the heathens that did everything against Israel. The sword in heaven is ready. It's heavy and war ready. Believe that. Very heavy. You understand? So, verse 14, his head and his hairs, this is head and his hairs, were white like wool. Yeah, I said it. White like wool. I didn't say it. The Bible said it. Understand? Christ had an afro too. He had a white afro. Understand? Like wool. And like I said before, we the woolly haired people. That's who we are on this planet. That's why we got Afro picks. We had Afro picks in my day. We had rakes. You understand? We the ones that had that woolly hair. Okay. As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. Christ's eyes was like a flame of fire because he drank a lot of wine. They tried to call him a wine bibber. They tried it, but he was not. He just liked wine. That's all. And ain't nothing wrong with drinking the Bible as long as you can control yourself. Please control yourself. And his feet, this is verse 15, and his feet like unto fine brass. Fine brass. Christ's feet were like fine. Brass is a derivative of brown. This is a derivative of brown. Understand? And it tells you right there, the Christian church is lying to you again, going to tell you there's no color in the Bible. There's color throughout this Bible. It's always color in this Bible. And it's always been about color. It's always been that. They still can't even get it together today. They can't get it together today. You understand? Trying to tell sisters how to wear their hair. Trying to tell brothers they act too black. What do you mean act too black? I act too much like who I am. That's who I am, damn it. You figure it out. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna be me and do what I do, yo. That's what I'm gonna do. Damn what you saying and thinking, you understand? I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to follow this Bible and be me. Be my nation, the nation of Judah. Be a Judite like I truly am. And my Mexican brothers got to be a Issacharite. And my so-called Native Indians got to be a Gadite. And all my other Hispanic people got to be whoever else is in the 12 tribes, like Zebulon, understand? Like Ephraim, like Asher, you understand? That's who my brothers got to be. And only that. They stole our culture. They killed our people. And then turn around and try to act like everything is okay, and we're supposed to smile and shuck and accept them. When you got blood on your hands, man, you're going to pay for that blood. Oh, yeah, you're going to pay. But still, you see, it says his feet, this is the feet of Christ, Yahushua, our King in the Hebrew, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. As if his feet burned in a furnace. So not only was it a derivative of brown, they were burned as if they were burned in a furnace. That means his feet were dark. Christ was a dark Negro. That's who he was, a dark Negro, the tribe of Judah. Understand? And his voice as the sound of many waters. It's right there in Revelation. All right. That's black in the Bible. That ain't black. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna give you some more. All right. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go into Deuteronomy. Let's see what happened to the children of Israel. Let's find out what happened to the children of Israel. Deuteronomy chapter 28. Shit, I'm going way too far. It's like way up here. Too far. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16. Let's go to 16. Let's go to 15. Now, mind you, I said that our forefathers and our ancestors walked away from the laws of We walked away from the Most High, period. We wanted to follow every custom and tradition and religion that was on the face of the earth. And all of those religions are wrong. Every single last one of those religions are wrong. It may be right for them, but it's wrong for us to follow because that's not God. God does not exist there. There's only one God in the earth anyway. There's only one God in the heavens. So like the Lord ain't been to earth before. But there's only one God in heaven, the God of heaven and earth. Yahweh, the only. There's none. He says there's none next to me. There's no other gods next to me. I'm the Alpha and Omega. I'm the beginning and the end. You understand? It starts with me. It ends with me. And if I want it to start again, I'll let it start again. It'll do that too. The Lord is about reincarnation. But let me get to this part. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. Now, these are talk about, you can go through the whole 28. It talks about blessings also, but I'm going into the curses because that's how you start identifying who Israel is once you see the curses of Israel. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken, which means listen, unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Okay, so 1, verse 16, cursed shall thou be in the city. You're going to be cursed in the city. You think we ain't cursed in the city? I think we are. Where's our businesses at? How come we can't be safe in our city? We get shot to death in our own houses. We get strangled on the street. We get choked out like Eric Garner. You know, we get choked out like George Floyd. We get choked out like most of us and killed. You understand? Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed in the city and cursed in the field. We cursed in the field, man. You got the people out there getting sharecrops, sharecroppers and all that. They were promised, they were promised money. They were promised land. If they just take care of that land, well, guess what? Most thing that happened to the sharecroppers is that they never got to own that land. They just had to work on that land, just like the slave they was when they was working on a plantation. There was no promise for them. There was a promise, but that promise was not upheld for them to get their land, to get the land that they wanted, that they were promised if they just take care of the land. Cursed shall thou be in the field. Don't believe me? Talk to some people from down south and they tell you the same thing. They got movies about it. The Men of Honor. You see a movie with Cool, Good, and Jr. Look at Men of Honor. That's showing what his father went through as a sharecropper also. Okay, I'm gonna jump down a little bit. I'm gonna jump down. Okay, I'm gonna jump down to, because this is a pretty long chapter. Let's go to verse 32. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. They're not going to be given to another tribe. They're not going to say they're going to be given to anybody else in the tribes of Israel. They're going to be given unto another people. You understand? If you've ever seen the movie Roots, you'll understand what happened. If you know anything about the transatlantic slave trade, you'll know that our families were set apart. Our families were separated. You understand? Our families were not held together. We were sold on auction blocks. We were sold as what's called chattel. You understand? We was a commodity, like you sell a book, like you sell a bottle, like you sell perfume, like you sell wheat, corn, barley. We were sold as a commodity. We were seen as a commodity. You understand? We were seen, of course, as 3/5 of a man. We weren't seen as a man. We were seen as 3/5 of a man. What the hell is 3/5 of a man? You understand? What is that? So if you saw that movie Roots, you see what happened to Kunta Kinte in the thing, about how they whipped it into his back. They whipped him and blood on all that stuff whooped his back, but this really happened to our people. It wasn't just a movie, understand? Our backs were whipped until he lost his name, Kunta Kinte, and started accepting Toby. He became Toby, all right? Just like now, we all have slave names. These are the names of our slave masters. These are slave names. These weren't our original names. Our original names were Hebrew. Our original names were Hebrew names. You understand? They weren't African names. Because if the slaves really were African, you would see Nigerian slaves. You would see Nigerian people talk about how they went into slavery. You would see people from Rwanda talking about how they went to slavery. You would see people from Ethiopia saying how they went into slavery. You would see people from Zimbabwe talk about how they went into slavery, or Tanzania, how they went. They did not. They did not. They actually helped us get captured and came here. They turned us over to the slave master. They were responsible for our slavery, and they're going to pay for that. Those are your children of Ham. You understand? We're not children of Ham. Children of Ham are Africans. And yes, they helped in the transatlantic slave trade because we were immigrants in their land. It says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given. I'm back in verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. No might in thy hand. You're going to be looking for your people. Won't be no might in your hand to keep your children from being sold to different plantations, different masters, and all that. Okay, that's in the Bible. Now let's get a little parallel. This is a book from Rudolph Windsor. It's called From Babylon to Timbuktu. Very important book. Very important book. Everyone should have one. If you so-called Black and Hispanic, you should have this book. We're going to go to page 84. Going to go to the second paragraph on page 84. In the year 65 BC, the Roman army under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state. See, they destroyed Jerusalem. They captured Jerusalem and destroyed it. Okay, this is a man who has a PhD in Hebraic studies from Israel, studies from ancient Palestine. This is what he wrote. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. Great slaughter. They killed a lot of people. They killed a lot of our forefathers when they destroyed Jerusalem. Okay. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. So whoever was left over, outrages and atrocities were done to them. They were slaughtered, but they were probably, how would you say it, tortured. They took all of their money, their land, their resources. They took it from them. Why do you think we ain't got no resources now here in America? All right. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into where? Africa. 1 million Jews fled into Africa. They ain't from Africa. They're not from Africa. They fled into Africa. We were immigrants in Africa, man. They didn't really want us there, but we had to leave there because we were getting slaughtered in Jerusalem. You know? And in Israel, you might as well say that. All right. fleeing from Roman persecution. We were fleeing from the Romans. That was General Pompey. That was what, who? General Pompey and General Vespasian, his son. We were fleeing from them because they were killing us like 90 going north. All right. Fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of Black Jewish slaves. You ever want to know your identity? You need to come on in here and stay with these classes, and you'll learn your real identity, your customs, your culture, because we'll give it back to you so we can raise this nation, man, so we can put an end to our captivity, an end to our oppression. That's what's going down. You understand? So that's what this book talks about. That's Black in the Bible. Because these were Black Jews. 1 million Black Jews fled into Africa, man. I read further in this book where it even talked about how they was underground. They found underground synagogues underground. He said, this is the extent of a people that have been persecuted so bad that they were willing to go underground just to keep their laws, customs, and statutes and commandments. You understand? So we already saw in the Bible where it says that your family is going to be sold into, given to another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. You understand? 33. The fruit of thy land, this is Deuteronomy 28, verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. Everything we did on the plantations, they ate. They ate and they lived deliciously off of the backs of our forefathers. Off the backs of our forefathers, man. You got migrant workers working, man, for pennies. You understand? You got slaves that been doing so much damn work, been taking care of their babies. Our women were taking care of their babies. Before they take care of their own, they took care of the master's baby. You understand? Hattie McDaniels played a part in a movie called Gone with the Wind. They didn't find that she deserved the Oscar for it, but she didn't get it during the time in acting, to show you how terrible and corrupt our masters are. You know, they gave it to her probably 50 years later. She finally got an Oscar from Hollywood for playing a mammy, for showing a role that she took care of our oppressors' sons and daughters before she took care of her own. You look in the movie Mandingo. Ken Norton was the actor. He was a boxer. He used to be a boxer back then. It's a movie called Mandingo, where you see the kids would lay down in front of the master, and he put his bare feet on the little boys' stomachs. These boys ain't nothing but 8 and 9 years old, and they believe that that's how they get rid of rheumatism. Rid of rheumatism, which is like when your bones get all messed up and stuff, and they cause great pain. They do anything to make sure that you are oppressed. It says, the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. Oppressed and crushed always. See, the Lord gave these curses to us, man, because we didn't follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. You know, it's not no wisdom from our oppressors. They're not no real particularly smart people. All right. Let's go to verse 36. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shall serve other gods, wood and stone. You're going to serve other gods. You're going to go to a nation you don't know. And there, that nation that's crushing you, you're gonna worship gods of wood and gods of stone. Well, here comes the wisdom in the Bible. Here comes the wisdom that you need to know. What is actually a god of wood and a god of stone? A god of wood is Christianity. That's that wooden cross you always wearing. That's that wooden cross on them churches. You know, that symbol that we're not even supposed to we're not even supposed to carry that symbol. That's like me carrying the 9mm for my dead brother. Putting a golden 9mm around my neck because I love my brother, because he died. He got shot by a 9mm. Christ was killed on that cross, man. Why are you wearing it? Why is it up in your churches like that? Because they don't know the truth. They are against the truth. They don't know the truth. They never did know the truth. You understand? Here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we wear what's up here. We wear this shield. It's called the Dawadah Magun. This is the shield of King David. That's what we wear. You understand? You got to know what you're doing and know what your symbols and everything is. But also, that's what it says. The god of other gods, wood. Now, what's the god of stone? Well, the god of stone is easy. You know that cobblestone out there in Mecca, in Arabia? The Arabs circle that stone, the cobblestone, all the time. It ain't nothing but a meteor that came down from the heavens. It's nothing but a meteor. That's a stone, cobblestone. And then it does talk about the dumb stone. The scriptures does speak of the dumb stone that you worshiping. Blacks are not Arab people. We're not Arabic. Arabic, if you're from Arabia, you're a true Arab. You're the son of Ishmael. Ishmael was Hagar's son in the Bible. That was Abraham's handmaid that Sarah said go in and have sex with her and have a son. That's Ishmael. But later on, he went into Sarah and she bore a son named Isaac, and the Lord chose Isaac. That's why we are the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the forefathers, not Ishmael. Ishmael is an Arab. You understand? His mother was Hagar, an Egyptian. You understand? He's an Ishmaelite, father of the Ishmael. He's Ishmael, you know. His sons are Ishmaelites, because the ites means sons. All right. Now, let's see. Let's go continue in this. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. Now listen closely also to this. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, not your friends, your enemies. Shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. How many people in the ghetto need everything? Everybody. How many people in the ghetto are starving? A lot of them. How many people in the ghetto are thirsty? A lot of them. You understand? He said we're going to serve our enemies in hunger, thirst, and in want of everything, man. You understand? That's our cruel oppressors over us, caused us to be in this state. But it really came from the Lord. They just helping it out and furthering our affliction. In other words, furthering our punishment. And he shall put, listen close, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Who had a yoke of iron on their neck? During transatlantic slavery, did they not have iron on their neck? and around their hands and on their feet, chains. Yoke is something to hold back, to hold you back, so that you don't do what you want to do. You do what whoever is in charge of that yoke, is controlling that yoke, you do what he does, what he wants you to do. So the Lord said he will put a yoke of iron upon your neck, right? Until he hath destroyed thee, until he destroys you. You've seen in some pictures of slaves that were in bondage, you'll see like fetters, like things around their neck. Not only is it iron, but it has things that stick out like that. It sticks out in the back and it sticks out in the front. That's so that when they run through the bushes, they can't get through the bushes, because those things will catch on to the brush, the bushes. They put a yoke of iron upon your neck. This didn't happen to the Africans, man. This didn't happen to the Arab people. This didn't happen to those fake Jews. Those fake Jews, they call themselves Jews. They didn't get no yoke of iron on their neck. They did not. They didn't serve their masters in hunger and in thirst and in want of all things. A lot of them had gold at one point. They were starving and stealing from the Germans so bad. That's why Hitler couldn't stand them. And he was a Jew his damn self. Well, a so-called Jew. He was a fake Jew too. All right. Until he hath destroyed thee. Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee far from the end of earth, swift as the eagle flieth. The eagle is the symbol of America. Eagle, globe, and anchor for the Marines. Screaming eagles for the Army. You understand? There's eagles all in here. That's the nation's bird, the eagle. It's all over the place. It's on the post office. You look on any post office symbol, you'll see an eagle. You look in ancient Rome, you'll see an eagle. You even look in Germany and you'll see an eagle. All right. So knocking. That's our oppressor. That's his symbol. Swift as the eagle flieth. Okay. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. A nation, verse 30, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. America don't respect you whether you're young or old anyway. You'll get beat up, you get disrespected, you get overlooked, whether you're young or you're old over here. It's no respect. All right. Now let's go to verse 64. This is still Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all nations from one end of the earth, even unto the other. And there shalt thou serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. It says again. You understand? It says it again. Verse 65. I'm saying the wood and stone. It says it again. Verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. You got to punch that clock every day, or else you're going to be homeless and jobless and foodless in a minute. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and a failing of eyes and sorrow of mind, That's what we have. Judah mourneth. That's why we're in mourning. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee. We hanging in doubt because anytime you living in these neighborhoods, man, it's a possibility, a strong possibility you can get shot by a gang member in a crossfire between two gang rivals. You can get robbed and killed. You get shot and killed by the police. You get choked out by the police. You could be sent to prison for the rest of your life. Your life will hang in doubt. Thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear the day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. You won't have no assurance that you're going to live an okay life. You're going to be okay. Okay? Now, let's go down to verse 68. What does verse 68 say? Okay. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. Egypt. This is the thing about the Bible. The Bible is sometimes written literally, but sometimes the Bible is written in metaphors. This is a metaphor. The Lord said he's going to bring you into Egypt again. You already was in Egypt building treasure houses for the Pharaoh when Moses was alive, just before he bring you to the promised land. Okay, and bring you through the Red Sea and into the promised land. Salaki. But it says Egypt again. All right. So this is the second time you're going into Egypt. Well, then it begs the question, what do you mean by Egypt? Well, Egypt is not really Egypt. Egypt is the real name, the ancient name of Egypt is Misraim. Misraim is what Egypt's real name is in Africa. It's Misraim. It's not Egypt. Egypt, in this context, is Greek, like Egyptos. Egyptos is a Greek word for bondage. The Lord is saying he's going to bring you into bondage again. He's going to bring you as a slave again in Egypt. But it says, the key thing here also is that it says with ships. If you read ahead, that's right. With ships. So how in the hell are you going to get from Israel to Egypt in a goddamn ship? You can walk to Egypt. You can walk to Egypt from Israel. That's how close it is. You can walk from Egypt into Israel, or Israel into Egypt. You don't need a ship. But we came here to America in ships. We had slave ships come to America. And America is the modern day Egypt. Don't believe me? Look at the back of your dollar bill. Go look at some of the monuments in DC. Okay? That obelisk. You see the obelisk in DC. That's Egyptian. Look at the way the Capitol is built. Those pillars that you see in the front, that's Egyptian. Rome copycatted Egypt. America copycatted Egypt and Rome. America is three things. It's modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, it's modern day Babylon, and it's modern day Egypt. That's why the scripture says, I will bring you again to Egypt with ships. You're going to come here by way of the transatlantic slave trade, in other words. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, which means you're not going to see your homeland again. How many of you so-called Negroes and Hispanics seen Palestine and Israel? You didn't see your homeland again. You did not. Thou see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. Bondman, what's a bondman? What's a bondwoman? Bondman is a slave, a male slave. Bondwoman is a female slave. Bond, like bondage. and no man shall buy you. See, Deuteronomy 28, the curses describes the extent of the transatlantic slave trade. Everything is in the Bible, just the extent of it. It's showing you the extent of the transatlantic slave trade. Okay. So be mindful when you get a chance, read the whole chapter 28 when you can. All right. So who else is black in the Bible? That's enough blackness for me. That's enough blackness for you for right now. Right? Let's see if we'll go to where I want to go to this time. Okay, this is another thing to further your understanding that you're not an Egyptian, because you look at Kemet and all of that. Okay, they try to say, and most chematologies and black people are trying to say we from Egypt. Well, how in the hell is everybody from Egypt? There's millions of us here, and all of us are from Egypt? Really? I don't think so. I don't think so. Let's see where I'm at here. Give me a second. All right. So we got, this book is called The Black Image in the White Minds. The Black Image in the White Minds. And this is by, who wrote this? George M. Fredrickson. George M. Fredrickson wrote this, and this book is like 100 years old. This is an old book, man. Like they say, you want to make a secret to a Negro, the so-called black man, put it in a book. We'll go all day long laughing, joking, shucking, and jiving, trying to pull each other down like a bucket of crabs, but we won't go read a book. Well, Barakatha Yahweh or Yahweh Shai, that ISUPK priests read books. You understand? Or else this truth would have never been known. The Lord knew who to make prophets. The Lord knew that the prophets are going to rise again because he willed it to be so. You understand? And we read books. We find this knowledge and we bring it to you so that you can get some real understanding. This is page 74 in the first, second, third graph. Morton's Crania Americana was a result of years of collecting and examining human skulls. As he gathered and studied the crania of different types of men, Morton became aware of the differences between white, Indian, and Negro skulls, and of the fact that the ancient crania from a given race did not seem to differ from those of their modern descendants. So the skull, cranium, your brain, and all that matter didn't change from ancient times to modern times. That's what he's saying. So it goes on to read on page 75. Let's put it this way. Let's go right here. Morton concluded that the races had always had the same physical characteristics and by implication, the same mental qualities. In the 1840s, Morton collaborated with George R. Glidden, an Egyptologist, who provided him with mummy heads and information about racial significance of Egyptian tomb inscriptions. In Crania Egyptatia, published in 1844, Morton pointed out that both the cranial and archaeological evidence show that Egyptians were not Negroes. Egyptians were not Negroes. Say it again. Egyptians were not Negroes. As abolitionists and colonizationists had maintained, because that's the colonists, the abolitionist people trying to abolish slavery, and the people trying to colonize us and all that, they maintained that we were Egyptians, but we're not. Our brains, our cranial shape is not the same. You understand? Which reminds me, my head is hurting. All right. And in fact, blacks had been relegated to the same servile position in ancient Egypt as in modern America. Like I said, we've been slaves throughout history, man. We've been slaves. That same servile work we did for the pharaohs when we built their treasure houses, we built them pyramids. We did slavery in Assyria the same way. We did slavery in Greece, same way for the Greeks. We did slavery in Babylon, same captivity, same type of slavery. All right. We did the same for the Romans. That's why they destroyed Jerusalem in the first place. And we did the same in America as I just read. That's page 75. So you go to page 74 and 75 in a book called The Black Image in the White Mind by George M. Fredrickson. You'll get some real facts about who you are. We're not Egyptian people. We don't need to study Kemet. We're not. Those are children of Ham. Remember I said in the beginning, Noah had 3 sons, Japheth, Ham, and Shem. That's Ham's kids. Ham's kids are Egyptians. They're African people. We don't mix with Africans these days. You notice you don't see so many so-called African Americans dealing with people from Africa. I don't. They act real funny, and they don't include me in their circles, and I don't want to be in them because I know I'm not those people. I'm not their people. You understand? They participated in the transatlantic slave trade. They caught us while we were trying to get away from our oppressors. They caught us and bring them right back to them. You understand? That's what they did. Okay. So let's see. Now I'm going to go to Psalms 147 and verse 19. Psalms chapter 147 and verse 19. Psalms chapter 147, verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob. The Lord showed his word unto Jacob. Jacob is the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. So he showed his word to the Israelites, and the Israelites only. It didn't say the whole world. It said the Israelites. His statutes and his judgments unto Israel. You see, he showed it to Israel, who were the sons of Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel, the Israelites, sons of Israel. Verse 20, he have not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. You understand? So when anytime somebody try to tell you they know the word of God, they're lying to you. The Lord didn't show them that. The Lord showed Moses his statutes and commandments. The Lord showed Jacob his statutes and commandments because they are Israelites. They were Israelites. He showed his law, statutes, and commandments to us. And as I read in Deuteronomy 7:6, he said that we are a special people. The Lord chosen us above all nations of the earth. All nations. The Lord is black. The angels are black. Christ was black. Okay. So these are black people they're speaking of in this Bible. I have another one. Because in a minute, I'm going to show you why we're not Arabs either. Go a little bit further into Islam for you. This book is called The Negro Question Part 4. The Negro Question Part 4. Who wrote this? Lee Cummings wrote this. And he did some study and some research. On page 8, he says, I know that this image of Black King James can be a little confusing to your Western education, but this is the truth, that this is known by the rich and the elite in the world. They know that the King James was a black man. Y'all can get a good look at that. It's even on the cover. It's even on the cover. King James was a Negro. That's the one. He didn't write the Bible, but he commissioned about 70 Israelites to interpret the Bible from Hebrew to Koine Greek to Latin and then to English. Hebrew, Koine Greek, Latin, and then English. That's how the Bible was even translated. And this man made it possible. Okay. I'm gonna read it again. I know that this image of a black King James can be a little confusing because of your Western education, but this is the truth that is known by the rich and the elite in the world. That was the reason I paraded all the English historians and professors before you before I got into the bowels of this book. I had to get your mind ready to receive the truth. King James came from a long line of Scottish Stuart kings. Okay. We were ruling Egypt at one time. Our people were ruling Egypt at one time. Okay. So let's go, let me see. Go to, I'm going to go back to Babylon and Timbuktu. When it said in the Bible in Deuteronomy, it was saying that we will worship other gods of wood and stone. So many of us is in the Christian church and Catholicism and in Islam. Well, let's read the birth. We're going to read the birth of Islam. It's in this book. Let's read the birth. What happened in the birth of Islam? A while since I read this, but nevertheless, it's been read. Give me a moment while I find the birth of Islam, because you got a lot of so-called blacks trying to say that they're Arabic. They trying to, and even if they don't say they're Arabic, why are they clinging to Islam? Why are they going into Islam? This is the book from Babylon and Timbuktu by Rudolph Windsor, and it speaks of Islam and Judaism. Okay, let me make sure I got it. Okay, let me go to page 44. At the time of the birth of Muhammad, what were the international events or conditions operating? The answer to the question is necessary to comprehend for the comprehension of the rapid emergence of the Mohammedan Empire. Okay, the Roman Empire was the birth of Muhammad was divided into two parts: the Western Empire with the capital at Rome, and the Byzantine Empire with the capital at Constantinople. The Roman Empire collapsed in the West, collapsed AD 476. Okay. The Eastern Empire, after many barbarian raids and incursions, the Germanic people crossed the borders and penetrated into all the territory of the Western Empire, including Africa. Okay. The Eastern Empire was deprived of its vigor by repeated wars with Parthia, which is Persia. This empire could not hold its possession with a firm grip. Constant imposition of heavy taxes, scarcity of soldiers, and all that, okay, weakened the Western and Eastern empires of Rome, right? With the defeat of the Jewish and Christian powers in Arabia, the stage was now set for the rise of a new power on the scene. The new power was Arabia, the Arabs. The Arabian Empire, with its new religion, Islam, which you see many of our people are mistakenly off into Islam. I'm from New York, so in New York, we did have a lot of, that was like the capital of Islam, damn near. You know, with Malcolm X and even Muhammad Ali turned this, that's why he named himself Muhammad Ali. His real name is Cassius Clay. Slave name is at least Cassius Clay, but he turned into Islam, turned his name to Muhammad Ali. Then you got the 5%ers, which a lot of my school turned into 5%, even that the black man is God. It's part of Islam, okay? That's why we've been led astray. I'm going to show you why. The new religion, Islam, established the superstructure of its culture in the ruins, on the ruins of the Roman Empire in the Middle East and parts of Europe. Europe remained dormant and inactive for 1,000 years through the Dark Ages, while the Muslim Empire mastered the civilization, mastered the civilized progressive world. Let us return now to survey the rise of the Muslim and religion and empire in Arabia. Okay. When Muhammad was born, everybody knows that Muhammad started Islam, right? When Muhammad was born, many Arabs were still worshiping the sun, stars, spirits, and idols. Okay. The Arabs possessed 360 idols, one for each day of the year. So they had 360 gods. Every day it's a new god. Today is this god, tomorrow is that god, the next day is this god, the next day it'll be that god. They're all different. 360 of them. You talking about confusion. Muhammad was born AD 570, 4 years after the death of the Emperor Justinian. He was descended from the tribe of Quraysh, the family of Hashem. His mentality was prodigious. Okay. So he was prodigious. And I just wanted to look up prodigious. I don't know if I got my Merriam-Webster, but I should use it right here. Prodigious. There it is. Prodigious, the meaning. Remarkably unnatural, abnormal. That's what it says here for the meaning of a prodigious. What is a prodigious person? It's an adjective that describes something or someone as extremely impressive, either in mass and quality. Someone who has an incredible ability. Okay, he had an incredible ability when he was young, right? Okay. So young Muhammad had an incredible ability. Now, In his youth, he was never taught to read or write. He was never taught to read or write in his youth. But his imagination was superlative. Muhammad was an extraordinarily handsome man and eloquent in motivating men, the power of words. Okay. In the early years of Muhammad's life, he passed his time as a shepherd boy. So he had sheep and flock to go, to look after. We must remember that many successful men have arisen from insignificant and humble conditions. Watching the sun by day and the stars by night left opportunity for Muhammad to contemplate in solitude and reflect on events and profundities in the world. After Muhammad became a camel driver, he traveled to remote and intriguing lands. He led his caravans to Persia, Syria, and Egypt, transacting business. So he was all over the place, transacting business, doing different things there. Okay. Transacting business with merchants of every kind. On his business trips, he met Jews, Christians, and members of other sects, different religious beliefs. He interrogated them, which means he questioned them a lot, like an interrogator, damn it, like a detective interrogates a suspect. He'll ask him a lot of questions so he could make him guilty, whatever, but he's just asking questions. Muhammad just asking questions, so he interrogated them. He interrogated them concerning the events and the tenets of their religions. So he questioned them intensely about their religions. He frequented, which means he went a lot to, the environment of the Jews and their rabbis, mostly because they were merchants and an omnipresent ethnic group. Because he could not read or write, his ears were attentive and keen to everything that the Jews related to him. Muhammad learned and extracted much from the Jewish religion. See, out of all the people he know, he frequented the Jews. Okay. Extracted much from the Jewish religion and compounded it with his new religion. So he compounded the Jewish religion with his religion, which is Islam. Verse 46, when Khadijah, a rich widow, heard of the good reputation of Muhammad, she employed him in her business. So they got together, got married and everything. Okay. Muhammad was not a tall man, but he had such broad shoulders that he looked like a giant. Muhammad had curly black woolly hair that gave him an excellent appearance. So it's just as they finally got married, right? Okay. I'm going to go a little bit further into this. I'm going to go to page 48, the second paragraph. The title is Islam and Judaism. Okay, so Muhammad kind of went forward. It tells you a little bit more about his life, but I got to cut to the chase for time's sake. Right. The Prophet Muhammad adopted many principles and laws from the Jewish religion. So he adopted the Jewish religion laws. Why are you doing that? You got your own, you're supposed to have your own thing. Your own thing's supposed to be Islam, but you adopting the Jewish laws. First of all, basic idea of monotheism. Monotheism means that there's only one God. Here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we know it's only one God, the Most High. We call him the Most High. His name is Yahweh in the Hebrew. We know it's only Yahweh, King of heaven and earth. Understand? Which is the belief in one God, The Jewish confession of the unity of God is Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad, which means, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. The Mohammedan slogan is as follows: La ilaha illa Allah Muhammad Rasul Allah, which means there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is the prophet Allah. So he paralleled his stuff, you know, to our beliefs. He paralleled his religion to the religion, to the beliefs, because we're not a religious people, to the beliefs of the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, of the Israelite God. Okay, the Israelite way of life and customs, put it that way. He copycatted that. Okay, Muhammad adopted he adopted more. Also, the main details of the Jewish calendar, the Day of Atonement, the Sabbath, and much of the Bible and narratives from the Midrash, and many points of the ritual laws. Incidentally, the Jews pray 3 times a day facing the city of Jerusalem, which is the east. And the Muslims, true believers, pray 5 times a day facing the city of Mecca. Okay? So you see, whereas Islam is a copycat religion. They're copycats. They're actually copycats. When you're in the rap and hip hop industry, we call them in New York, we used to call them biters. You was a biter. You bit my rhyme, yo. Which means you stole my stuff, man. Why are you stealing my rhymes? So in this case, why are you stealing my religion? Why are you stealing my way of life that I have between me and the Most High? And you taking it as your own, and then you naming it something else. And then you praying 5 times a day, but we pray 3 times a day. Why are you doing all that? Okay. Best, Muhammad sought to convert the Jews to his new religion. So he wanted to convert us to that crap. This crap. He wanted us to be converted to Islam, in other words. But to no avail. The Jews were adamant and resistant to change. Of course we were. We listened to our forefathers when they said that they were there when the Lord caused Moses to part the sea, the Red Sea, when the Pharaoh's army were chasing us. We were there when the Lord made that pillar of that cloud in the day that we followed into the promised land, and that pillar of fire at night that we followed, that the Lord caused us to follow so that we could get out of our captivity. We knew all of the wonders and all the things that the Lord our God did, the Most High God Yahweh did. Why in the hell do you think we're going to go into Islam? That's how they were feeling. And that's how we feel in ISUPK. The same way. We're not Arab people, man. Muhammad was an Arab, man. We're not them people, man. We're the true Israelites of the Bible, man. The true children of God who don't know their name. We don't know our name. We don't know who we are, man. And just for a sidebar, I'm going to take you over to, I know I'm continuing, but there's not so much left on it. But I'm going to take you over to the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 3. The book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 3. And it reads, the ox, Isaiah chapter 1, verse 3, the ox knoweth his owner. That's a big, dumb animal, too. It's strong as hell, but he's dumb. And the ass, which is a donkey, his master's crib. But Israel doth not know. My people do not consider. You go up to any Negro, Hispanic, or Native Indian and ask him if he's an Israelite, and he'll be like, no, I'm not. I'm from Mexico. No, I'm not. I'm from Puerto Rico. No, I'm not. I'm a nigga from down south. No, I'm not. I'm from Compton. No, I'm not. I'm from Baltimore. No, I'm not. I'm from New York. No, I'm not. I'm from DC. You understand? We won't say I'm an Israelite. I'm a true Israelite from the Most High God. That's why ISUPK is so important, to get this message out so that we could teach our people who they really are, because our people are lost. And that's why the Bible describes us as the lost children, the lost tribes of the children of Israel, the lost tribes of Israel. Okay. We didn't consider, it says, my people doth not, my people, it says right here, I didn't finish it, I don't think. I'm going to read it from the top. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3, the ox knows his owner, the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know. Israel doth not know. My people doth not consider. We don't consider ourselves to be God's chosen people when we actually are. So you got to get your mind and heart out of America. Get out of America, tearing you up. It's teaching you the wrong things. It's making you eat defiled flesh. It's making you worship those holidays. It's making you do all them things you're not supposed to do, because you're supposed to have been, if you're an Israelite, you're supposed to have been at Passover. You should have been in Houston, Texas, April 24th, like all the rest. Okay. And if you couldn't make it, you still was supposed to observe the Passover. Our people don't consider that they're the real Israelites of this world. Okay. Now let's go back to the copycat religion of Islam. He copycatting. Because these who are the blacks and Hispanics in the world of today and of yesterday. Okay. Trying his best, Muhammad sought to convert the Jews into his new religion, but to no avail. The Jews were adamant and resisted change. The high esteem of the prophet held for the Jews was transformed into enmity. He had a high esteem for us in the beginning. He knew we would have chosen of the Lord. He knew we had the truth, but it turned to being an enemy, enmity. You're our enemy now. Muhammad became our enemy. And instead of allies, he looked upon them as competitors. He looked upon us as competitors after that. Muhammad needed the confirmation of the influential Jews to validate his mission. As all upstarts, he called him an upstart, as all upstarts need in the backing of someone influential. Muhammad therefore turned against the Jews and became their tormentor. Okay. And that, that's basically it. That's basically it, at least for this class. But I'm just trying to show you that this Bible, blacks and Hispanics and so-called Native Indians are the true children of God, man. Don't let nobody tell you that you're an Egyptian. Stop trying to be a Christian. Stop trying to be a Catholic person. Catholicism got more raped people that raped and molested kids, that they got lawsuits, huge lawsuits for their people. So God cannot be there. God will not be around kids getting molested. What kind of God would that be? Jehovah Witness too. Jehovah Witness got the same thing. They said, they got the new commercials now. If you've been molested while being part of the Jehovah Witness or being part of the Catholic Church, you need to come and claim your lawsuit. That would never happen with the priests and prophets of the Most High God when they teach this true word, the true word of God. We don't molest kids here in the ISUPK. And if we find out, believe you me, it's curtains. Like I say, it's trouble. It'll be trouble. You understand? Because we're not gonna let nobody take advantage of our children. Haven't we all been taken advantage of already? Haven't we been raped, molested, and murdered and killed in this nation? Haven't they stolen every damn thing from us? Haven't they killed our brothers in the street? See, that's how you know you God's people, because you're going through it. You are going through it. You're going through it because the Bible said you're going to go through it until our King comes back. When our King Christ, Yahushua in the Hebrew, comes out that sky with the 1,000,000 black angels, and when he ready with that war face and that war ready sword that he got, and that golden girdle and that white garment, he gonna be about the business, man. And he gonna tear the leaders of this nation up, man, for destroying our people, for all of them that had went against Jerusalem. You understand? And with that, I'm gonna say shalom.